We are on the bottom edge of the Tyler Schooling. And you were saying?
It's a backwater area, and if you go back up in here, it catches just about everything off the creek. It goes right back up in here. There's an old hull of an old boat, motorboat. I'm sure there's a couple of washer and dryers back up in there. You can find just about everything back up in there.
And here you can see some log jams way up on the side. We just went around too. And how about the park's policy on log jams? Right now it's let them be.
It is. Right now it's don't touch anything. The question I have is, once you make a policy that you're going to start clearing everything, do you open yourself up to liability that way, or are you better off just saying, you know, you kind of paddle at your own risk? What do you think?
What do you think there, Ed? So this is about log jams.
With a fixed location, sometimes a log jam is going to be something you're going to be aware of, and once you're aware of it, you've already assumed some degree of responsibility. So you got two choices: do something about it, or inform every person who's going down there under your tutelage to be aware of that particular issue.
Right.
So you know, you can do it the soft management way, or you can do it the chainsaw hard management.
Now, what about if you're not an outfitter, right? So you're not providing the equipment.
That makes a whole lot of difference. You're a strange duck,
right?
And I don't know. You know, it's in my gray zone,
right?
Altogether in your case,
right?
Yeah, outfitter would be totally cold.
I mean, in a way, we're inviting people into the creek because we're building canoe launches, and we're saying come to the creek and paddle.
Yeah.
So even though we're not providing the boat and the paddle,
you're in the gray zone, definitely.
Right.
And which means if somebody were to press the issue, you're going to have to go to some effort to defend yourself. Because the other team is going to have some fairly significant evidence against you because of your activity.
Right.
So right now, with Metro Parks building the two canoe ramps, it's a Metro Parks issue, but as 21st Century Parks assumes management responsibility, it becomes their issue.
It would be nice if it were that simple. I got a feeling you're going to be still in a gray zone of sorts. And let's face it, if my family were injured, I'm going to hire a lawyer. Both of you guys are going to get sued anyway.
Coming after both of us.
So the court will sort it out.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're going to come after both of you.
Now,
the deeper pockets is the one I'm going to go after the hardest.
And how about rivers around the southeast? So Kentucky, Tennessee,
North and South Carolina.
North and South Carolina. That's sort of our Indiana. That's sort of our local region. For streams that people can go paddling on with organized boat ramps, canoe accesses, promotions of canoeing, what's the policy there?
The policy is going to depend on the outfitter, and most of our members ascribe to the standards that we preach in terms of risk management. And that is, if you see a log jam or a strainer that has terminal implications or consequences, you are responsible to not only inform the customer, but also to take it out and mitigate it, somehow mitigate it. So that's the policy of those outfitters. Other outfitters who are not members, I don't know. I can't speak for them. I don't know what their standards might be. It is not an unusual thing to have outfitters who really don't care about it, or outfitters who are such purists they just say this is part of the experience. While at the same time they will take a log that has crossed their driveway and cut it up and get it the heck out of the way.
Right.
So, you know, it seems to me if it's good for land, it's also good for water. In fact, it's going to be even much more of a hazard on the water because the surface is moving, whereas your driveway is not.
Ed, right behind you there is a strainer, and so we were talking about strainers. And what do you think about this strainer? Is this something that Canoe Kentucky would remove?
Take a look at it. I think it would be.
And so Canoe Kentucky would remove this strainer. And why is that?
Well, it's right at a fork. which means indecision. Once you are indecisive, the strainer is the likely target. And it's, if it were not on the fork, it would be debatable. That's not debatable. Why put people at risk when you know the solution is so simple and is not environmentally egregious whatsoever? It just doesn't meet any kind of test that makes any sense not to do it.
And so, in other words, you're saying the indecision, so as they come floating down here,
Which way do I go?
which way do I go? They don't make a decision,
Right.
and the answer is
Or
they go into the stream.
indecision, trying to figure out which way, just going through that process. And all of a sudden they're not going to miss the stream.